Happy New Year, jazz hands. Welcome to 2026. I'm sort of welcoming you, but I'm also speaking from the past because I'm back in 2025 right now. But contemplating the decks that I intend to work with in 2026 and the reasons why. Maybe some of them are just intuitive. I really only want to sort of address 5 or 6 maybe decks, because otherwise my videos, I ramble a lot. But there are a lot of decks that I sort of pick up and I just use for a short period of time. Maybe some shit's going on that I want to address, and that combination or that deck has the energy that I want to work with. But for now, it looks like there's a few more oracles, actually, it's probably mostly Oracle that I'll feature in this video. So I'm going to try not to ramble too much. That's a determination of mine into 2026. So deck number 1 is Kim Cran's Archetype deck. I love it. I've done what Danny Mystic, I believe, suggested, which is write all the keywords and stuff around the edge. I probably wish I do wish that I had taken a little bit longer to work on those keywords for myself, because I've used the ones out of the guidebook primarily. Occasionally, very rarely, I've used one of my own, but yeah, I would like to have a bit more time with it. So what I think I'll do is I'll work with it this year. I'll set up another little guidebook with other keywords that resonate with me for this deck. This will be a deck I use selectively. I will choose, most likely consciously, the archetype in this that I want to work with. So for example, recently the poet and the self have been two really potent cards for me. I did a poetry mentorship all the way throughout 2025 alongside of my studies, which was a really important and pivotal moment in my life of actually sort of coming out as a poet. I've always thought in poetry, I've always written poetry, but due to some of the content maybe and confidence issues, my work just used to end up in the fire. I used to perch next to an open fire and write and burn. So I still kind of do that, but therapeutically rather than through crippling low self-confidence. So yeah, this has been a really great deck for exploring multitudes of energies, and I'm really looking forward to playing with it all throughout 2026. I just have the deck to the side. I don't try and put it in a holder because they roll off. The cardstock still shits me, but not enough to get rid of it. No way, no, that's not going to happen, no. But so what I do is I just have it unboxed beside me just over that way, and I just hold, like when I'm in a meditative space, I can just sort of hold my hand over it and try and sort of dial into the energy that way. So that's the first one. Deck I'll be working with is Black Lily Tarot by A. Rosen. This deck is really important for me as I explore I'm a big year for astrology for me this year as well. But yeah, for me, exploring my midheaven in Scorpio, this deck is very, very exciting for me to play with. That sort of hidden realm, or that place where shame resides, the deep, deep subconscious, and bringing things into the light and transforming them to no longer be crippling for us, to find ways to transmute it. This deck is a winner for that. and I will be pairing it with my new best friend, who I can't believe took me so long to acquire for myself, which is Astrological. I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I apologize if I've butchered it, but yeah, the Outgrow Yourself Tarot Oracle with everything. I love this with everything. I edged it in yellow because I thought it would be funky, which it is, but because there's so much damage already on the side, I don't know, I'm quite happy with it. I can always edge it black again later, I suppose. But so, for example, this deck with the Black Lily just absolutely work for me. How do I start valuing myself? Princess of Swords in the Tower. You know, I just don't think you're going to get a shitty read ever with these two together. What do you need to take? What do you need to take the first step? The Empress and the Five of Cups. Reverse. Anyway, so these two will be featuring a lot. This will be just being used to death. I love it. I love it, love it. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what comes from those two together. Next deck that I'm keen to play with is the Lacrimosa Tarot. In 2026. I haven't really worked with it much up until now, and I'm determined to find a place in my practice for it that works for me. So if you've got any way that if you have this deck, how you work with it, I love that image. Please let me know. I'm pretty sure it'll offer me some, I mean, I see shadow work in here, but it's also kind of delicious, scorpionically delicious. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'll do with it. It will largely depend on some of the features of the next deck that I will be working with most extensively, I assume, in 2026, which is the, where is the, I've done this all wrong, Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck. I'm just, it's not necessarily the deck itself, although it's beautiful, and I love the way it smells. It reminds me of my primary school. Oh, how I loved my first teacher. It smells like her. Oh, it smells like her classroom. So this is going to be a massive feature for me this year. I am dialing in on my astrological natal chart, particularly because Pluto has entered my first house of Pluto transformation. Traditionally a Scorpio. Well, you know, there's contention around that, but I'm not getting into that. But, you know, that transformational, the bursting out of the chrysalis, kind of the seed popping up out of the ground, and that transition that's got to go through the darkness to get to the light, in terms of my first house of Aquarius, and, you know, how I greet the world, how I meet the world, how I represent myself in front of the world, to the people in it. Yeah, so that's been a big focus of mine to really consider, because it's sticking around for a decade or more. So I need to take it seriously. It's still not remotely close to the degrees in my house, but I have already felt the energy of it. And a big transit for all of us this year is the conjunction, which is the merging, the coming together of Saturn, the big guy, who gets a bad rap, but I absolutely respect now. He's the traditional ruler of Aquarius as well. So I haven't paid any attention or mind to Saturn over my life. And yeah, I can see that perhaps that was a bit of a misstep on my behalf. So Saturn's conjunct with Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces energy, which is, that sort of spirituality, that spiritual awakening, that intuitive knowing. In Aries at 0 degrees, the absolute pinpoint drop of the beginning of the astrological chart, the absolute reset point of the chart. This is not just for me, this is all of us. Mine is in the 3rd house, which is around communication. So I need to be, my focus is on merging my self-discipline with my spirituality and sort of the depth of my spirituality in communication and in my relations with, close groups of people, with the absolute new beginning of, like Aries is that sort of ta-da, here I am, that new way of being. So it's such a huge energy. February 20, look out for it. This will last for quite some time. Saturn's in for a couple of years, usually 2 years or something. Neptune's sticking around for longer than that in Aries. So, it's going to be a massive pivotal reset period for us all. And this deck, I don't ever use this as an oracle deck. I use it to spread out my natal chart and where the houses are. So for example, my 2nd house was Pisces, but Saturn was sitting there recently. So, the hard work and discipline was really around my sense of physical security and self-worth and finance, actually, because this is traditionally a Taurian house, in terms of sort of intimacy and, well, it says here, intuition and compassion for self and others. And it's fascinating, fun to play with, rather than just watching a YouTube video or trying to read it in text. Using cards is a fab way to do it. The last one that I'll mention, it's another serious one, all again because I'm getting serious. I'm taking Saturn serious. That's what's happening. So for me, the Death Doula Oracle is probably going to be another monthly draw, consciously selected and deeply worked with energy. The guidebook is fabulous, but I really want to just use that as a jumping off point and diving deep. I am all about finding ways into the subconscious and transmuting it and bringing out the gold that's in there. Even the shittiest of shit has magic with it. It's just about finding it. I don't know about you. I am certainly personally and collectively tired of this guilt-ridden, self-righteous perspective that's been, like so many people pointing the finger at the other side, and the tension's getting stronger and stronger. And, personally think if everyone just sort of shuffles back, it'll be okay. But perhaps the breaking point will come. And for some of us, that'll be a personal journey. And I personally feel that this new reset is going to mean for a lot of us, we are done with feeling like shit about ourselves. The only true transformation that can ever take place on this planet cannot happen until we do it for ourselves first. There's no good, in my humble opinion, Everyone's standing around and pointing the finger at the other guy without actually really taking ourselves out like a rug and giving it a good shake in the outdoors and clearing it up, cleaning it up, you know? What really is it underneath it all? Why am I angry? What's beneath it? Why do I feel this shame? Why do I wish they admired me? Why do I wish that, you know, people would take care of me? What's all that for? You know, this is where I'm going. This is a one way for me now. I have been dancing around for decades, not quite sure of my direction, and that is one thing I am absolutely certain about now. And I'm inviting anyone who feels the same to come along for the ride, and let's see where we go. All right. Woo, that got deep. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything that I was... listen to that swish. To share with you today. Saturn's telling me to be more disciplined with how often I engage with YouTube, so I intend to do more of it. I'm just about to begin the process of clearing all of my decks, and for the 2026 year, and I had a little comment a while ago by, I wrote it down, I think it was Backed by Mountains, someone with that handle. Thank you. Oh, thank you to all the people who have commented and liked and done all the stuff. I love it. I really, really appreciate it. So while I'm clearing the decks, this conversation that we'd had was about me. I'd made a comment saying maybe I should do my favorite card in every deck, and I think I'll probably will do that. So I'll have some kind of commentary around what my favorite card is, why it's my favorite card. It might be because it's profound. It might be because it's the art. It might be because of the message that it's given me. I don't even know myself. I'm going to wing it because that's how I roll. So I hope you're doing well, and I really appreciate all of your support, and I look forward to catching you throughout this year. So take good care. Ciao.